Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Okay, Phil, this is round 2 of election night coverage here. And it's getting exciting, I got to tell you, at least down here in Mexico. How about up there?
Mike, I am so amused watching the news and the pundits spinning what's going on.
Oh, I was just telling my buddy Kevin outside that do you ever get the feeling when you're listening to the anchor or the guy at the election board that they're trying to keep you watching all night long? Because it's like he'll be like, well, it looks like this county right here is definitely Harris, and she's above what she was 4 years ago. But hey, let's look at this other one here. And so I don't know.
So,
I don't know. What's your gut feeling now after 3 hours of this now?
that I was spot on.
Oh. But Phil, you said a blowout. I'm not seeing a hey, by the way,
27-105.
This calls for a treehouse beer. So I'm imbibing in that simple life, which is what we're all hoping for at this point.
Mike, you should have told me you was going to drink something. I got to go all the way to the kitchen.
Hey, we got the next one in 3 hours. Hopefully in 3 hours you're drinking. Actually, you guys should tune in because in 3 hours, who knows? We might be 6 cervezas in at that point.
Mike, this thing could completely turn around, but it looks like a blowout right now.
What TV are you watching? I'm not seeing that.
Harris, 27 electoral votes. Trump, 105.
Okay, but in fairness, I mean, what states are we looking at here? We're looking at Tennessee and Arkansas and Kentucky and Indiana and West Virginia. I mean, and North Dakota and South Dakota. Those are not contested. That's bullshit states.
I am.
And then on the other side, you got Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Maryland and and Washington D.C. That's also bullshit states.
I absolutely believe
when I say bullshit, I mean states that are not relevant to the count. But let's look at Pennsylvania right now. Pennsylvania, I said this 3 months ago. I'm going to say it one more time. Whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win this election. And right now, it looks, if I was in the Harris camp, I'd be very cautiously optimistic about Pennsylvania.
So, Mike, how do you think the rest of the states left are going to fall out?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm going to tell you. My buddy Kevin out here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys are following it along tonight at all on my social media. I just posted a picture. We've got this on the big screen on the projector on the side of my truck outside here. So maybe I can. I wonder. Well, maybe at the end of this pod, or I'll try to take the camera out there. We'll see if we can do that. But I think that it's skewing. Kevin's prediction was it is going to be a tight night. It's going to be a tight call. It's not a blowout. That's his early call. So we'll see. I mean, so far,
it's early.
What I noticed, remember I talked about demographics and we talked about Florida, and what I see so far is that Florida is going, obviously we knew it was going to go for Trump, but it was the Latino vote is strong. Actually in Georgia it looked like the black vote was strong for Trump as well, which is good indicators for him.
Well, from all of the things that I've been seeing, they've been doing these pollings outside of the voting, and he has record number of black voting.
Yeah.
For a conservative.
He's got crossover in the unions as well, where they're not necessarily going with who the union said. So that could come into those blue wall states in the upper Midwest. But I don't know that Harris is necessarily struggling in any categories either. And you got to remember, if Trump can't win Pennsylvania, he's got to win either Wisconsin, I think, or Michigan and Nevada or something like that. And she pretty much has to hold the wall on the top there. That's her path. That's her easiest path, anyways, to victory as well. So I'm seeing it super tight. But what I am seeing is that there's the quote, what I would call the woman factor with reproductive rights. So far, I haven't seen that as a huge player in the game, but it might be being skewed early because we're talking about Florida, and which skews probably heavily Latino, particularly in the South, and Catholic. And then we're also talking about the South. So if there's going to be women that are going to vote on the Trump side, you're going to likely find those in the Bible Belt states, right? So I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at the states that are left, Mike, and I only see 3 for sure states for Harris. And that would be, I think she'll win Washington.
California and Oregon.
I think she'll win
Washington.
Oregon and California.
Yeah, but you got New England still. For some reason, they haven't called my original birth state of Connecticut, which I have no idea why that hasn't been called. But CNN, I'm looking at CNN right now. They have not called that. I don't know if MSNBC or any of them have called it, but it doesn't appear that way. I don't know why.
The newspapers, they're polling. I mean, or they're
Well, what do you got for electoral count? I got 178 Trump, 113 Harris. That's looking at Fox News. And I watch all 3 of them because I feel like Fox is a little bit more aggressive in their calling. But I will say all 3 of the boards, if you watch any of those guys up there, they're all pretty fair. Like they don't seem to be very skewed on any of the 3 networks.
I think they're all skewed. I do.
Maybe.
The Washington.
By the way, if AJ is watching this one out there, because I got people. It's funny. I'm calling out some people here that have been watching and sending me messages and that watching the podcast. So I knew, Phil. The good news is somebody is actually watching something and listening to this. And yes. I don't know. I haven't been able to go on line to see. I know YouTube was up. I don't know if it hit Spotify and Apple, so I wasn't able to look at that. I don't know how fast it always gets up to some of these things, because hey, we know that the media tends to we might say something that they don't want us to say, and they keep us down for a while.
So I'm saying it's a blowout, Mike, and you're saying it's not, and I can understand that but
you're saying it's a blowout for Trump still.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just confirming.
And people saying that it's too early. I understand it's too early. It absolutely could change. But I'm looking at the states that are left over, and it don't look good for her, man. I don't. If she wins Pennsylvania, let's give her Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. She's still got to win the some other states. She can't. She's
got to win Wisconsin and Michigan, likely, unless for something weird goes on. I mean, we're all calling. Let's see, we're at 9:09 East Coast time right now as we're recording this. And does that mean Iowa has closed? Is that correct? And that was that outlier poll that was saying that she was ahead in Iowa. Do we have any results from that? I don't know. I don't think so.
Nope. Still to be determined. I don't see
anything there. Yep. No. So our big, exciting podcast is probably going to be coming up at midnight East Coast time. That's what I'm thinking, right? Because are we predicting right now that at in our podcast that comes out in 3 hours from now, you're going to be sitting here telling me, "See, I told you, Donald Trump has won the election."
It may be contested. It may be closer than I assumed, but I think Trump is going to win.
Well, we both predicted that, so we'll see.
But the numbers
I'm looking at Fox News right now, Phil. they've got more people in the studio than I think. It's probably past fire capacity. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 people sitting at the desk. I'm like, talk about stupid.
Oh, they just bumped up Trump's electoral. He's like at 27 to 154. What numbers do you have?
Well, it depends on what station you're watching.
Yeah.
I have on Fox News, they have called Trump 178 to 113 over here. I also have MSNBC up because I like Steve Kornacki on the election board, which is what we're listening to outside my truck here on the big screen. We're on MSNBC, and I don't know what they've called over there. They've called 160 to 30 for Trump so far. And CNN has 154 to 30. So they're all in line. But that doesn't, I mean, that don't mean anything. Let's put it this way. I think it's going to skew a little closer than we want it to.
I just don't. Where's she going to get the votes from, bro? I'm looking at, like, for instance, you were saying she would have to also win Michigan and Wisconsin. And I grew up in Chicago, and I know that area. And as soon as you get outside of Detroit in Michigan,
Yep.
as soon as you get out of Milwaukee, it's red.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But I was listening to an interesting thing on, they were talking about in Grand Rapids, Michigan, over the last 10 years. It's a pretty reliably red area, but it has softened a little bit, and there's a dislike a little bit of Trump there. So the question is the dislike of Trump stronger than the will for her policy or you know what I mean, like and how much does the
have
union
just gone through 3.5 years of worse.
Agreed. And that's why I always go back to, I think that, sadly, this is a tough election because I know I sound like a broken record, but I mean, the choices are not that great. I mean, let's just be honest here.
I agree.
I don't know how anybody could be super excited after this. So let's flash forward. Let's just
let
go
me
forward
tell you
like
exactly
1
what
week
I think
from now.
Of this, Mike.
Okay, go ahead.
To me, this is the longest running episodic reality show.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's right.
That's what it's been.
Right. That's right.
You were gonna
and that's my point, though. And I just think that let's fast forward, like a week out from now. Presumably, we'll know a winner by then. and then 50% of the population is going to be, quote, happy, and 50% of the population is going to be not happy. But in reality, is it for the right reasons? And are they really happy and not happy? Or is it just, like you said, a load of reality TV show bullshit? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, because I hear more conversation about who's likable, who was it a good idea or a bad idea for McDonald's or getting in a truck, or should you have been on this podcast and stuff like that, instead of who is for this, who is for that, who's done this and who's done that.
The number one reason to vote for Harris is you hate Trump.
Right.
Right. And the number one reason to vote for Trump is that you think that it got stolen and we need to get back to, whatever. I mean, like I talked about on the last podcast, I mean, I think the Republican Party got hijacked, and I think that well, I'm not going to get into that. I was going to give you my views, but we'll stay out of it. We're not doing my views. This is not about Mike. This is not about me. This is about giving you an alternative to listening to what's her name there, Rachel Maddow ramble on, because that's what I was just listening to outside. After a while, she's like a freaking cheese grater on a blackboard.
I've got to listen to her if the results turn out the way I think
The
they
problem with her is she can't even conceal
are.
her emotion and who she wants. So she's like, it's hard to it's hard to look at her as a news person because she's just, she's oh God
When
damn,
people
I can't
argue
watch
with
her.
her, they don't even. It's almost like a given that she's for one side or the other.
It is. She's not hiding that. At
So
least like Sean Hannity on Fox News. I mean, he's another blowhard, but like at least he's I don't know. He does it in such a way that it's like I mean, he's just I don't know. He's not trying to hide it. I feel like she's trying to be a news person. He's just trying to be a partisan commentator. She tries to be news, but I mean, she's not news either. She's just as bad as I mean, she reminds me of what was the other guy? Bill O'Reilly.
you like Bill O'Reilly?
No, he's another one. Did you see him? By the way, did you see him? I just saw him talking last night. He looks like he's 476 years old. I mean, I don't know what happened to him, but when he got fired by Fox News, he must have got smacked by a lawnmower.
That makeup budget and being able to
Went down.
Botox and all that type stuff.
Oh, they pulled the Botox budget on him. It's ugly. All right, so what time is it? We're pretty much it's too early to call. Look, I'm looking at my screen right now. Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada. Too early to call. So too early to call. We're gonna have to check back with you guys in like 3 hours. That's what I'm thinking. And by the way, we might give you a bonus. Maybe we'll do a 3:00 in the morning East Coast time podcast.
The election may force us to do that.
We might. You might. But hold on. Phil, we're going to try to do this. I don't know if I can do this live. I'm going to see if we could take you outside to show you what my setup looks like.
Okay.
Can we try that?
Let's do it.
I don't know. Well, this is risky here. I'm carrying a microphone and a computer. So let's just see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're going outside. This is what we do in Mexico. So we're just kind of letting you guys know. Hold on. Here we go. Look at that. Look at this board behind me. You see that? You guys see that? And we got some viewers over here. I don't know. It's really dark. Oh, there they are. They're waving. I got some people waving. We got people watching. But we got it on the big screen on the side of the truck. So I know the audio is probably pretty good, but the video maybe not so good.
It's perfect, bro.
That's perfect, right?
But for live coverage on the spot, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin. Give us the prediction here. Well, we're going to do an interview here. Kevin, tell us what's going to happen. Early thing. Is it going to be tight?
It's going to be tight. I know you guys said it wasn't, but I think it's going to be tight. I think Trump is going to get North Carolina. I think he's going to get Georgia, but things are looking really good for Harris in Pennsylvania. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be down to where we're counting probably into tomorrow, if I were to guess. Very frustrated. Very frustrated today.
There you go. We got frustrated people.
Mm-hmm. It's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing. So we are here in Baja, and it's a beautiful, as you can tell, I'm in short sleeves. It's outside. It's nice out here. But we're going to see all you guys in 3 hours. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, and I don't know, how's the feed going up to Spotify and Apple? Is it up there? I don't know.
It's
Are
all
they
up.
censoring us, Phil? It's up. Okay.
I hope not.
I hope not. I saw it on YouTube, so I know we're out there.
All right, Mike. I'll see you in a few hours.
All right, checking in here from Random Waypoints.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.